Hey guys! So today you and I are going to talk about refactoring. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, hi Frederick, do you enjoy refactoring code? Yes, I do. Well, it depends on the refactor, of course, but usually, yes, I'm pretty happy when I get to a refactor. It depends a little bit, though, on what, as I said, what type of refactor it is, because I really don't like refactoring things that are, you know, the sort of stuff where I can't get it to the state that I want, and the refactor is this like arbitrary, pointless little thing. Like it's basically cleaning lady or cleanup duty for something that is really, really well. Well, let's just say that you're doing the wrong refactor. You're trying to shuffle around some stuff that would basically need a more like a bigger investment to be done in a nice way. Because one thing I truly despise is to do something like a tactical refactor where the whole system is built, or like something is built in a way where you it's like putting a band-aid on cancer. It's never gonna get to a point where this I would be able to say with a straight face that yes, this is really well made. And so when I get to do a refactor there, it's like these toy things, that sort of stuff that I don't enjoy. To me, that is it demotivates me like crazy. Where I sit there and I quote unquote try to make something slightly nicer, even though I know it's still a pile of shit. The only time I really enjoy a refactor is when I get to actually take something from what I believe to be subpar to something that I feel like, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good solution. A good example, like something that I enjoy, is to let's say restructure some code so that it becomes testable. So the sensation is almost a little bit like cleaning your apartment or like cleaning up a really messy room or something like that. Like it's super like writing unit tests and like all that sort of stuff. It's not like, I mean, to a certain point it's sort of relaxing to me to just test pure logic at times, but during the process it feels a little bit like it's almost a little bit tedious. Like I get like a little bit mental exhaustion if I do it for too long. But once you're done and you see that, okay, so now all the garbage code is gone, the logic is simpler and like cleaner, like you've been able to remove some stuff. That's the best part. If you can throw away some stuff that is no longer needed, you almost feel, it's almost like you feel a little bit lighter after a really good bathroom break, or lifting some stuff out of a box that just was super heavy and now it's super light. That's how it feels. You're almost afraid to float away a little bit. That's me at the very least when I get to do something like that. And then the thing that I love the most is when I can get to a point where I see that people, because this is something that a lot of software developers struggle with, and that is what I call source code architecture, like the structuring of their files and like how they set up their repositories and things like that. And it's something that I've taken quite a lot of time to try to figure out to do in a way where I will argue that it's fairly easy to work with, and it's fairly straightforward for juniors to sort of understand how to work with it, and like how to sort of I know that I've created what we call the pit of success for other people, where I've not tried to make like some type of super implementation of something, or like make some fancy abstraction or something like that. All I've done is to take the years of experience that I have, put in place a few basic like construct, like say for front-end developers it's going to be an API client of some sort. For back-end developers it might be like creating a slightly more modular approach where I like to use a modular monolith for my backend APIs and things like that, and maybe add some specific types of tests that I know are going to be very helpful, because not everybody thinks about them, and so forth and so forth. These tiny little nuggets of knowledge that I've gathered over the years, when I get to put those in place, and I feel as if now, like when my coworkers start doing things, they start to get value from that, like these tiny little things. It can be something as small as I said, I created a little contract test or something for an API that we have, and a test fails, and due to the fact that they've changed the status code unintentionally or something like that. That makes me feel really good. because I know that it's super common for in this case backend developers to not think about API backwards compatibility and things like that. And by having that incident, or like that thing happened when I did it, they got an insight. They started like, it's usually when they come to me and say, that's really cool, I'm going to start doing that too. So my little thing that I learned from all my years became some tool or trick somebody else picked up. It's the same thing I did. I mean, I've been watching tons and tons and tons of software developers do all kinds of awesome things, and I picked up their tips and tricks that they learned. Like, where does they say, I stand on the shoulder of giants? Exactly the same thing. Like when I was learning, I picked up these tiny little patterns, and then I invented my own patterns for ways that I like to do things in code and so forth. So it feels really good for me when I can go to like a really messy code base or something that isn't working, where people sort of like, I like to say that I'm the guy who, when everybody says, oh, it can't be done, I'm the guy who says, I understand it's probably tricky, but can you let me try at least? Because if you just let me try, let's see if it can be done, and then show them that actually it could be done. That is my favorite sensation when it comes to refactoring and things like that. To get to work with people, or not with people necessarily, but work on a situation where everybody sort of just went into apathy. Like they sort of just accepted that this is horrible, it's ugly, they can never get it. Like they mentally gave up on the thing a long time ago. And then to be the guy who just tweaks it a little bit, and all of a sudden it's sort of like this ball of mess just unwraps and becomes something usable again. So what I want you to take away from this is that yes, I do enjoy refactoring code, as long as it's a real refactor and not something where I'm just basically shuffling shit from one place to another. I hate that. It's the worst thing in the world. These token refactors, I absolutely hate. It's for me just tedious, but the best sensation in the world is when I know that if like I can see it in the code for like where like these common problems that basically every project has, and I have my own little tricks for how to fix them that I know, which I know is going to work, and that they're not like big investments or anything like that, and it's not going to require like a lot of work to do it, and then I get to introduce those, and then I sort of see that it's almost a little bit like convincing a friend who's like a little bit overweight or something like that to start going out and jogging with you, and seeing that they start getting a little bit slimmer or something like that. You make this tiny little change that's impacting somebody's life or someone, and they learn from it, or they become something more for it, and so forth. And those patterns, when I can get those refactors in place, because they're usually very tiny, but I know from experience that they make a really big difference if you just do it. Same thing, like imagine how happy like a dentist who convinces a kid to start brushing their teeth better, who's had really bad teeth or so forth. Like you get to feel sort of a sensation of that, yeah, I actually made a change. I made a real impact in this person's life or in this code base or something like that. These are the best refactors I know. I love them. Have a great day.